Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I'm with BEX Realty here in Central Florida. I'm a licensed realtor. I specialize in the Central Florida area and I do a series of videos or series of blogs on different real estate topic. I would like for you to subscribe to our channel if you're looking to get a bunch of real estate tips. If you have any questions or concerns or even a comment, leave it in the bottom of the this video. Our information is also there to call us, email us, or text us if you have any questions. Also, if you'd like for me to cover a certain topic, just leave it in the comment section. I'll definitely cover that topic for you. Today's video is about how to get top dollar when you sell your house. Everyone wants to get top dollar when they sell their house. Nobody wants to sell their home for less than what it's worth. Sometimes you have homes that are completely renovated, and then other times you have older homes, or maybe you have homes that are not that renovated. So, based upon the condition of your house, your condo, or your townhome, when you get ready to sell it, you want to get top dollar for what it's worth, right? So, one of the first things to do is to neutralize the house as much as you possibly can. Get rid of clutter, get rid of any family pictures, any family portrait, get rid of any specific hobbies that you may have that you have around the house. Get rid of those. If you need to repaint, like if your walls are not in a neutral color, you may want to repaint. And if you can't afford to repaint, just make sure you neutralize everything as much as you possibly can. If you have older appliances, or if your hot water tank is older or your furnace is older, you want to consider offering a home warranty insurance to the buyer. And what that means is the home warranty insurance covers stuff like your dishwasher, refrigerator, your stove, washer dryer, your complete HVAC system, furnace, air conditioning unit, garage door opener, doorbell. It covers all the appliances in the home, including any electrical item, and also plumbing. So that means if you sold the property to the buyer and something happened, like let's say the air conditioner didn't work or the furnace broke down or the dishwasher break down, they call the home warranty company. The home warranty company will come out and either fix or replace that item. Now, most home warranty company will have a deductible to the buyer, and that deductible is normally $50 to $150, somewhere there. Most of the time, it's like $100. So they'll call the home warranty company. They're going to charge them $100 to come out, and they'll either fix or replace the item. So if you have items that need to be replaced and you can't afford to replace it, that's a great idea to offer a home warranty to the buyer. The home warranty will cover the buyer up to 1 year. At the end of the 1 year, they decide if they want to renew it, and it kicks in the day of closing. So then when you close on the home, that's when it gets transferred over to them. Okay, but you want to consider doing that. Another thing you want to consider doing is get the home inspected before you put it on the market. You want to get the house inspected because you don't want any surprises. You don't want to get into a big crazy war with the buyer. And a lot of times real estate agents try to cushion that. So if you were to put the property on the market for sale with a real estate agent and something came up on the home inspection, then that agent would have to go to the buyer's agent, and the two agents there's a lot of things that happen between these two agents sometimes based upon what comes up with the home inspection. Because sometimes the seller is saying, no, I've lived there for so many years and there's nothing wrong with my furnace. I know it's old, but there's nothing wrong with it. And the inspector is telling the buyer, well, the furnace or the air conditioning unit is at the end of its life, right? How many times have we heard that? It's at the end of its life. It might still be working, but it's at the end of its life. And what do you do with that? The buyer is thinking if it's at the end of its life, then you need to replace it. The seller is thinking if it's at the end of its life, but I use it every day, there's nothing wrong with it, it works well, I maintain it, right? What do we do? That's where home warranty insurance will come in to cushion that. But you want to make sure you know what's going on with your house. You want to make sure you get it completely inspected so there's no surprises when you list a property for sale, or even if you're selling it for yourself and you get a buyer and they do their home inspection. You don't want to get into surprises. There's a lot of things that goes on there, so you want to make sure the home will be inspected correctly. And the purpose of the home inspector who also have to their license, so they have to answer to a governing board that governs them. They have to come in and they have to do a true inspection, right? They can't act like they don't see things that needs to be said. They can't say, oh, well, I didn't see, okay, I know the buyer, I know the seller, so I'm not gonna do a good inspection. They can't do that. They're governed. So they have to tell you what's for real. Another thing is if you have an issue with pricing, like for instance, if you think the house is worth 400,000 and maybe the real estate agent just telling you no it's worth 380, and maybe the properties in the area supports that 380 mark but you want 400, another good idea is to get the property appraised before you put it on the market. The appraiser is going to come in and they're going to appraise the property, and the appraisal report follows the property. Here's what I mean by that. When your appraiser comes in and they appraise at 400, let's say, they appraise at 400,000, and then a few months later you sell the property and the buyer appraiser comes in, they're going to appraise it, but they're going to know that there was an appraisal done a few months ago, and they're going to see the value that appraiser appraised it at. If they have an issue, they're going to contact the first appraiser to say, it's not appraising for the value that you said. What comparables did you use, right? What other properties did you use to compare to this property, right? So that's what's going to happen with that. So it follows the property. So in saying that, the flip side of that is if you had a buyer buying the property and the appraisal came in low and you decide you don't want to sell the property to that buyer anymore because you want them, let's say you wanted 400 but the appraiser came in at 350 from the buyer, and you didn't get the appraisal for you put on the market, you just put on the market, buyer appraisal came in at 350, you have it, you want 400, and you decide you're not going to sell to that buyer anymore, you'll wait for another buyer to come to sell it for the 400 that you want. The problem with that is, unless it's a cash buyer, that appraiser is going to follow the property. So even if months down the line you get another buyer that says, okay, I'll pay you the 400, when that buyer's appraiser goes out to appraise a property, they will know that an appraisal was done months before, and they will know that appraisal came in at 350, and they're going to need to figure out how do you make up the difference. I was at the property appraised at 350 in June, and I'm here in December. It couldn't have appreciated by $50,000 that fast, right? So that's going to be an issue. So whenever you're selling the property and the property does not appraise, that's something you got to really pay attention to, because it's going to follow the property. They will know. The other appraisers will know, because they have a system that they know what property is appraised, at what time it was appraised, and at what value it was appraised at. That's very important. So you want to present your home like a model home when you put on the market for sale, right? Imagine going to a new construction site and going through these builders' model homes. What you're going to find is they have all the upgrades in there, and they make it where you just want to move into that model home. That's how you want to present your home. Present your home as a model home. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, and I know it doesn't. You just got to declutter, neutralize, and if you have a funky color, get something to neutralize that color. So let's say you had a funky color on the wall. Get something neutral to neutralize that color so it does not pop up. Maybe if you have a whole room painted pink, try to repaint one of the walls that's not pink, but with a color that goes with the pink so it works. You see what I'm trying to say? Because I know you can't repaint all the time the entire house, but you want to make sure that it's not, something that's going to turn off buyers. Because here's the thing with buyers. You could say, well, I have my color in my wall, so if a buyer comes and want to buy the property, I'll just repaint it neutral. The thing is, some buyers can't see beyond the funky color. That's the problem. Even though you tell them I'll repaint it, they're like, or even though they could repaint it themselves too, they just can't get past that. An investor can, but sometimes a typical home buyer cannot. And that's why you want to present the property in the best light possible, so no matter who it is that walk through it, they could see themselves in it. Okay? All right, thank you so much for listening. I have all my information in the bottom of the video if you want to contact me for any reason. I would invite you to subscribe to our channel, because we do cover a lot of real estate topics. And again, if you want to have me cover a topic, just leave it in the comment below. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.